Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today guys, we are back with another figure preview, or in this case we're doing a vehicle preview by Hot Toys. Today we're going to be taking a look at the newly released Batmissile from the movie Batman Returns. This vehicle is not a surprise whatsoever in my personal opinion. Obviously with the 1989 Batman, which we have unboxed here on this channel, we got his Batmobile, and I also have unboxed that. If you guys haven't seen it, feel free to check it out here on my channel. You guys can see the whole unboxing for both the 1989 Batman and also his Batmobile. And pretty much Hot Toys is doing the same thing with his Batman Returns version featuring Michael Keaton. We're getting the figure as well as the vehicle that we get. So in this case, for those of you guys who haven't watched the movie, and I do want to clarify, I've watched the movie, but it's been a long time since I've watched it, so there's certain details that I might forget and that might slip throughout this video. Feel free to correct me at all times. I promise you guys that once we do get the vehicle in hand, I'll make sure to rewatch the movie so that way I can captivate all the details that I might forget right now as I'm doing the figure preview, or well, in this case again, the vehicle preview. But basically the Batmissile, it's still the Batmobile, and basically what happens is that Batman reconstructs the vehicle so that way it can fit into tighter spaces. So it's a very thin Batmobile in this case. And that scene in the movie where he's being chased, I forgot if it's by cops or who he's being chased by, but he's basically about to crash into the walls, and what he does is he reduces the size of his Batmobile to this Batmissile so that way he can fit into those tighter spaces. So there's a lot of things that you guys will see will be very similar to the Batmobile that we just received a couple of months ago, but obviously there's some differences, and we're definitely going to go ahead and captivate those differences here throughout the video. So just an FYI, this accessory is pretty much available to pre-order. He's at $610, and he should be expected to ship out at the end of next year, possibly beginning of 2026. I do want to be honest, I do believe it's a little too expensive in my personal opinion. The regular Batmobile was $715, so there's like a $100 difference. I think it was obvious that this one was going to be a little bit cheaper because of the size of it all. It's just a smaller vehicle. But just looking at the images that I've been seeing from Facebook, Instagram, and here also on Sideshow Collectibles, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't find this to be too special of an accessory. I just think that Hot Toys could have done a little bit more to make this even more special than what it already is, and I don't think that they did that, and that's why I think the pricing is a little high in my personal opinion. But still in all, if you guys are interested in buying it, as I always like to say, I will include the link to Sideshow Collectibles, so that way you guys can go ahead and pre-order the accessory, the vehicle. Just know that with them there is a payment plan, so you guys will have that option to pay off the whole accessory on its own. So let's go ahead and take a look at the images. So as I mentioned before, there's going to be a lot of similarities to the Batmobile that we got for the 1989 Batman movie. Again, obviously this is just a smaller, thinner version of the vehicle because of those tighter spaces that Bruce or Batman wanted to fit them in. So it is still pretty long. It is 42.9 inches as far as the length between the unit on its own. And I'll be honest, it looks pretty cool. I mean, I really don't have anything negative to say about it. It looks pretty cool. A lot of similarities, I would say. The color texture, this part right here in the middle, this is exactly the same. The wheels on its own, they're pretty much the same as well. They have that Batman logo right there on the center of the wheels. So those are the things that we do get for the regular Batmobile that we also get here for the Batmissile. Taking a look at more images, so I would say it's pretty much the same size as far as length compared to the regular Batmobile, and the way that the Batman will fit on this thing does seem to be pretty nicely. We'll see how well the Batman figure fits specifically inside the actual vehicle. So for example, we got the same option here with the Batmobile in the 1989 Batman, and throughout the video, to me it was a struggle to put both of them together. I had to remove the cape from the Batman because he didn't fit completely, and still in all, because of the figure's lack of articulations, it was hard to fit him in. I feel like at some point, if I left him there too long, it would damage the suit and the figure in its own. So we'll see if we'll have the same issue with this unit specifically. Hopefully it is an easier transition, but again, that's something that we'll have to check out once we get the figure in person. I do want to remind you guys that these are just prototype picks, so there's certain things that are always scheduled to change. I really don't see anything being changed from this specifically, because there's nothing really wrong being made with the actual vehicle on its own. But I will say this, there's certain things that they could have added that I will speak on a little bit later on to make it even better, because I do have a small complaint about this unit specifically. So there's an image of Batman himself inside the Batmissile. This imagery is very, very similar to the one that we get with the Batmobile and Batman himself. There's certain things that are the same, like the canopy, whatever you guys want to call it, that opens and closes. That's something that I did expect, no issues with it whatsoever. But as you guys can see right here, his ears, or whatever you guys want to call it, these things are basically at the very top of the canopy, so I don't see the canopy closing while the Batman is inside, if you guys wanted to pose them that way. The LED light functions do seem to be brighter and different compared to the Batmobile, so that is always exciting, and we'll see how it looks once we get the Batmobile the Batmissile in person, and how well it lights up. As I always like to say, these are just promo pics, so the light up functions might be a little bit brighter than what they actually are, but again, that's something that we'll see once we get the thing in person. Again, as far as the thing itself, there's nothing really too much that I have to talk about. Again, we get the regular wheels. The color of it looks exactly the same. If I'm not mistaken, the LED light up functions, which I will talk about a little bit later on, should be as far as inside with all those buttons, and also on the back, just like we had with the Batmobile, so nothing changes there. We can just pretty much keep taking a look at the images. Again, there's nothing too much to say about it. Once we get this thing in person, there's more things that I will end up saying. So for example, one thing that does change with this specific image is that the wheels are kind of extendable, so you guys can kind of push them outside, which is accurate to the movie, and that is a good thing. Gives us an option to pose the unit on its own differently. And speaking of posing, the good thing about this specific accessory is that because it is thinner, it is going to be much easier to pose, to do the video on, and also at the end when you guys do want to pose it somewhere in your room or homes, it's going to be easier, because again, it's just a smaller accessory, so much easier to work with compared to the Batmobile. And again, I'm telling you guys, based on experience, it was a lot of work for me to put that Batmobile somewhere in my room, because again, with all my Hot Toys figures and display cases, it was going to be tough to find space for that Batmobile, but eventually I found a way to make it work. And with this Batmissile, it should definitely be even easier. So just kind of an FYI with that. So again, just more images, nothing else to look at. So I guess I can go ahead and touch on my complaint that I have about this specific figure on its own. So as I mentioned before, we get the LED functions, LED light up functions right here on the back, and then also inside the actual Batmissile with all of those buttons and things like that. So one complaint that I have, so for those of you guys who follow all of these Batman accessories, vehicles, whatever the case might be, as you guys know, Hot Toys released its own Batmobile. Right afterwards, Jazz Inc. Dioramas released their own version of their own Batmobile, which was by far a better accessory. It just came with much more things. It came with sound effects and things like that. It even had its own remote, so that Batman can control the Batmobile. So many different accessories that were not added by Hot Toys. So Jazz Inc. Diorama's Batmobile was better than the Hot Toys one. And so my thing is that if Jazz Inc. did that with their newest release, you would expect for Hot Toys to kind of adapt and try to, fight with the competition and maybe add on some of those things to this new Batmissile accessory that we're about to get. And instead, we don't get anything really added like as a new thing. Obviously the accessory on its own is new. Again, we got Batmobile, now we get the Batmissile, but as far as like any effects or any new things that this thing does, there really isn't anything. As I mentioned before, the LED light up function is for the back and the inside, and that's pretty much it. Nothing else turns on. But again, to me, the thing that really would have gotten to me, that would have made this even better, and I would have possibly defended the pricing on it, would have been if it would have had some type of sound effects to make it even more legit. And we don't get that. So there's nothing really too special about this Batmissile compared to the Batmobile. It's just a different version. That's pretty much it. But there's nothing that really improves about it. There's no newer functions or anything like that. So that to me is a complaint, because these things are not cheap at all. They're really expensive, and I just thought that they would have added much more functions to so that way it can meet the customer's eyes, and it gives us, you know, that I guess that enthusiasm of purchasing the accessory. But instead we just get a different vehicle with a lot of the same functions and accessories, and I personally am not too thrilled about it, and I am really hesitating if I'm gonna buy this, because it is really expensive. The only thing that's making me, you know, tempting me to go ahead and buy it is that collection will look so cool. You know, the 1989 Batman with his Batmobile, the Batman Returns Batman with his own Batmissile. So that is such a really nice combo. But again, I'm really hesitant because the pricing is very high, and there's just nothing too new about this new Batmissile compared to the Batmobile. Maybe just the extendable wheels, but that's pretty much about it. So this last image would pretty much just describe everything. Again, we get the auto itself, or the accessory, the vehicle itself, with the LED light up functions, the extendable wheels, the cockpit with the slide open canopy, whatever you guys want to call it. And again, that's it. There's nothing else that comes along with it. No sound effects, nothing to make this even better than what it could already be. So again, a part of me is disappointed. It's still a good accessory. I just think that Hot Toys could have gone above and beyond to make this a little bit better, especially knowing Jazz Inc. and Diorama's release of how their Batmobile came out. Who knows, now they can make the decision to release a new Batmissile and do sound effects. And honestly, if they were to do that this time, I think I might have to buy it from Jazz Inc. Dioramas and not Hot Toys themselves. So will I purchase this accessory? I'm still iffy about it. I'm gonna think about it, you know, good and hard, and I'm gonna wait and see if Jazz Inc. might releases their own version of this Batmissile. But I'm very iffy about it. There's a lot of reasons why I shouldn't buy this, but again, just the thought of collecting the whole Batman by Michael Keaton's collection of vehicles and figures, it's just such a very exciting thought. But again, I'm just very iffy as far as like the improvements and the newer functions, that it really doesn't have any at all, based on the images that we went ahead and took a look at. Now again, this is just a prototype, so who knows, maybe by the end result we'll get some newer functions added and it'll make the vehicle even better. But that's something that we'll have to see in the near future. So guys, please let me know in the comments what you guys think about this new release by Hot Toys. Feel free to be honest. Maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh regarding this unit. Let me know please if I missed some details or some things. Again, I haven't watched this movie in a long time, so there are some things that are escaping my mind right now. But as I mentioned before, once I do get the figure or accessory in person, if I do end up buying it, I will make sure to go ahead and watch the whole movie on completely, so that way I can remember these things and I can be more, I guess, educated when I do the actual unboxing. But again, let me know please in the comments what you guys think about this specific Batmissile. Let me know if you guys are going to go ahead and buy it, and if you guys do want to go ahead and buy it, as I mentioned before, I will include the link to Sideshow, so that way you guys can join, I'm sorry, not join, but go ahead and pre-order and set up a payment plan for this specific Batmissile, because it is expensive, and that payment plan will be needed. So as always, also want to thank you guys for supporting the channel and for watching all of my videos. And if it is the first time that you're watching me, remember that this is the channel for Hot Toys unboxing videos, but as well as figure previews. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and also hit the notifications bell, so that way you're always updated anytime that I do drop a video on my channel or have any important news coming up. So once again, guys, I want to thank you for tuning into this new figure preview or accessory preview for the Batmissile from the movie Batman Returns. Thank you so much for supporting, and I will see you next time.